rolling hills, serene lakes, and charming historic towns. New Jersey is one of the wealthiest states in the country. The Northwest region is home to some of the most scenic and beautiful places in the Garden State. Yet there are deep pockets of poverty, with tens of thousands of individuals and families struggling to get by each and every day. There are over 130,000 Alice families in this area and 23,000 who live in poverty. There are over 57,000 individuals who are unemployed and over 80,000 households that have severe housing problems. 80,000 men, women, and children live hungry or are at risk of hunger, and another 80,000 are uninsured or underinsured. For those in need, there is help and hope for a better future. Norwescap provides vital strategies, programs, and services to over 30,000 individuals and families in Northwest New Jersey and provides the support they need to live a better life.
I was getting sick. I was nauseous almost every single day. And at that time, I was concerned because my great-grandmother and my grandmother both died of breast cancer. And then in 2002, my mother was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and passed in 2004.
I met my wife when we were in 7th grade. And then I'd say a couple years later, we started going steady, and we had our 4 children. We were together from 2010 on until she passed away in 2017.
I was a single mom of a 3-year-old, and I financially, struggling. I had my hot water turned off.
So I'll start out by saying I'm a domestic violence victim. I was in a very abusive marriage. It was extreme. My husband had control of all of our finances, wouldn't make money available to me, and we went without food.
My daughter I would take to my mother's to bathe, and then I would just take cold showers before I went to work every day.
When my wife passed away, she passed away from an unexpected heart attack.
It is sometimes very hard for people to understand how do you end up in a place like that. Prior to getting married and having our children, I actually had a career. And I was very independent. I was very financially independent. I raised 2 other children on my own that are very successful today. And I ended up in this very abusive marriage that took all my power away.
And a friend informed me that I do qualify or check into the Norwescap Seed program because they do offer free mammograms and cancer screening for people who cannot afford it or don't have insurance. They sent me for the mammogram, and from there, the biopsy. Basically that day, they said it's going to be cancer.
I lost my job when I became pregnant with Isabella, my littlest one. And pretty quickly, I ran out of unemployment and used my savings to support myself and the children. And by the time I was simply out of money, I turned to my husband and I said to him, "You need to help. You need to support us." It's a very good job, makes really good money, and he refused to give me any access to the family finances. This is a very common scenario in a domestic abuse, domestic violence situation where somebody gets put in a vulnerable position where they don't have resources, and it's all about control.
In the time it took the ambulance to get to the hospital, I was already there waiting, and when she got there, she was pretty much dead on arrival. Unfortunately, my 2 younger ones, they were with us through the whole process. The older 2 met us at the hospital for them to find out that she was gone. That was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with.
It was really unbearable. We went at times without electricity. We lived for years without a working refrigerator. We didn't have heat, hot water. We lived in a $1 million house, and he cut off services. He wouldn't buy food. I was literally and a hostage in our own home.
So at the beginning, it was very, very difficult, to hear that. Here I am. At that time, I was 47 years old, and I'm terminal. I just didn't know what the future held for me. And I know with my mother, 2 years and she was gone.
Everything started coming back together because of Norwescap and the turn of events and the fact that I had to keep it together for my children, made life, pretty difficult. But with the help that I had and the fact that I would reach out, and Jen from Norwescap kind of backed me up. She was there every step of the way for any help that I needed, whether it was childcare, whether it was talking to the boys for whatever they needed to. She was even there for me to talk to when I was having struggles, difficulties, and she was somebody I knew I could trust.
That's what they're there for, to give you that little boost, to get you to that next level.
As I started getting services in the community, I learned about Norwescap and WIC. I tried many places. The fact that I had a job and a career before, I was very proud. I was very proud that I didn't want to ask for help. But we were going hungry. I had infants who needed formula. I couldn't be proud. I had to go and get help.
The support, not only with the programs, but with the people here, because a lot of people take it a little bit more personal when they're helping a client and they want to see them succeed and they want to see them benefit as much as they can.
Last summer I had problems with childcare. Being a single father of 4 now, my wife was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to worry about my kids going to doctor's appointments. I didn't have to worry about how they were getting to and from school or anything like that. So summertime was a big upset. Like, okay, well, how am I going to keep my job? Now I have to pay for childcare. I can't afford that. Norwescap will assist you with a daycare. Got me a daycare 5 minutes from my job, and it was on my way to work and on my way home. So it wasn't even an inconvenience. It was right there.
When I went to Norwescap WIC is when I really felt that I regained my power back. They never made me feel like I was asking for help. But if it was not for the formula and the food we got from WIC, we were going hungry. We were literally going hungry in $1 million house.
Norwescap was like a second family to me. They helped me out in every aspect. Jen took the day off of work when my wife passed away to attend her funeral, which meant a lot. Like, it just means a lot to know that people were willing to go out of their way, to pay the respects.
Norwescap, I feel like it's my home. It's like a second family at times, and I take it personal with Norwescap because we're here to serve, and it's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people to better themselves and better their situations and take it and run with it. That's all I have to say. Take it and run with it, because there's a lot here that a lot of people think that just if they come in for one thing, that's all there is, and there really, really, really isn't. There's a lot that can help you become self-sufficient.
It's very hard when you go home and there's no one there. I was fortunately that before my mastectomy, I moved in with my brother, who was also single. He recently passed away, and that has been very hard. He was my rock, and he was my younger brother, and I just didn't think he would be gone before me. Norwescap has become part of my family. They check up on me, so it is nice that, that I have people that I can reach out to. Norwescap gives me a purpose. It gives me meaning. Maybe there's a reason, because some people can't talk about it, and I can.
If it weren't for Norwescap, I probably would not be a homeowner. My children would not have had adequate child care. I would not have my utilities on, because it was a struggle just even paying for my utilities. And since I'm employed here, I wouldn't have a job.
I'd honestly have to say, if it wasn't for Norwescap, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
There is a lot of help available, and nobody should go without food. Nobody should. So it's a wonderful program.
You could always depend on Norwescap. If they said they were going to serve 150 kids, they served 150 kids, if not more. If they said whatever service they said they were going to provide, they did it.
Norwescap is the cornerstone. We're the foundation for these families that we serve. For the individuals, children, and families that are struggling on a day-to-day basis, Norwescap is their rock. And that's why we do all the work that we do.
I think it's true that Norwescap doesn't just invest in the person. Norwescap's programs are invest in the community.
Norwescap is an amazing collection of good people that every day are doing great things. We are truly creating opportunities and changing lives.
As a way to eat and get to work and be happy when they come home for work. And I think that Norwescap's programs do that.
Norwescap's vision is to help build a community that transforms poverty into opportunity. In 2018 alone, Norwescap expanded access to health insurance for more than 1,200 individuals, provided nutrition counseling and supplemental funds for healthy food to over 6,500 women and children, distributed over 2 million pounds of food to over 110 local food pantries and nonprofit partners through our food bank, kept the heat or electricity on for more than 4,700 people through our energy assistance programs, placed 639 homeless individuals in temporary housing, provided a quality education to over 550 children in early Head Start and Head Start, provided financial support to more than 4,400 families to find quality, affordable childcare. Norwescap partnered with over 450 organizations to create a community of good people doing great things. Thank you for joining Norwescap and helping to create opportunities and change lives.